Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the daily message for Unity Clear Lake Center. Today, I'd like to share with you a message that I received this morning. This message is not necessarily for you, it is for me. But I wanted to share it with you. So, lately, I've been wondering how I can have a deeper connection with God, Spirit, the universe, whatever you want to call it. How do I feel more one with Source? I do meditate and I do spend time reading spiritual books and books about connection, and I definitely am thinking about how to share ideas with you as I'm going through these daily messages each and every day. But I sometimes feel as though I'm not fully feeling that connection as much as I want. So this morning I picked up a book I've been reading. It's just a story, but it has a spiritual tune to it. And one of the first things I read about was the Pearl of Great Price. So I went ahead and looked that up, and it actually comes from Matthew chapter 13, verse 44. And Jesus is saying, the kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in a field. When a man found it, he hid it again, and then in his joy went and sold all he had and bought the field. So as I was contemplating that, I was then reminded of the story of Mary and Martha. And this comes from Luke chapter 10, verses 38 to 42. As Jesus and his disciples were on their way, he came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. She had a sister called Mary who sat at the Lord's feet, listening to what he said. But Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. She came to him and asked, "Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do all the work by myself? Tell her to help me." "Martha, Martha," he answered, "you are worried and upset about many things, but few things are needed, or indeed only one. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her." So this morning, after I read that, I sat for a while contemplating both of the passages that were brought to my attention. First was the pearl of great price, as Matthew later referred to it. What do I have to sell to share, to have this connection to Spirit? So I knew, of course, that it wasn't about selling anything on the physical plane. I knew it was about my thoughts, my feelings, my actions. What was I willing to fully give up so I could have this connection? And of course, lately I've been speaking so much about watching our thoughts, our feelings, our words, and I knew that that was part of it. So I really went inside this morning and took a really hard look at myself. And I went over what my thoughts and feelings have been over the past few days. I realized that I was holding animosity toward one person for their deep-seated thoughts of lack that was affecting me in my life. And I knew I had to more fully give all those thoughts and feelings up. That I had to really surrender all of my feelings toward this person for their feelings of lack and surrender it all to Source. And the thought came to mind, it is what it is, only I make something of it. So when I had that thought, I had to smile and realize that as much as I was upset with this person toward their feelings of lack, so was I feeling lack if I was upset with them. So I laughed more than a little bit. And then I took my deep breath and I surrendered the thoughts. But then I thought about the Mary and Martha reading. Where was I Mary and where was I Martha? So I have my time for meditation. But then there's all this deep cleaning that I'm doing right now. I'm going through files, I'm shredding things, tossing things. I'm organizing my closet, I'm organizing my dresser drawers, etc., etc., etc. So even though it's been making me feel really good about getting things organized. But where in that was I also taking time for God? Where was I thinking about God in all of that movement? And I had to realize that most of the time that I wasn't. And I really had to be honest about that. So I am going to paraphrase what Jesus said and make it this. Patricia, you are so busy with so many things to be organized. But the only organization that is needed is to choose what is better, and it will not be taken away from you. So, what is better? And I was reminded of the words from the Course of Love. I dedicate all thoughts to union. The teachings of Saint Germain put it even deeper. It says, I dedicate to all thoughts to union with the one source, God. In other words, I dedicate all thoughts to God. But if I take both the passages I just spoke about, then the statement has to be, I dedicate all thoughts and actions to the one source, God. So that was my message for me for today. Do I more fully want to feel the presence of God around me? Well, of course I do, or I wouldn't have been thinking about it. Then I have to dedicate all thoughts and all actions to the one source, God, which made me had to question myself, and I had to ask myself, do I feel like a failure in not having been doing this? And of course I don't. I've been doing it more and more. I've been doing what I've been doing. And especially since I've been writing these daily messages, I really have been thinking about, more about God and being with God. And believe me, writing these daily messages have really been assisting me in keeping my mind on God-centered thoughts and ideas. So I had to realize that I'm just being reminded to not let go of the thoughts of God as I go about doing my daily activities. I can still continue going through my files. I can still keep cleaning out my closet, my dresser drawers. I can still vacuum and dust and wash the windows and do whatever else it is that I decide to do. But if I want a greater connection with Source, then no matter what I'm doing, I have to do it with thought and dedication to the one source, God. I realize that this is my time, a time where I don't have to go anywhere or do anything. So keeping my thoughts and actions constantly on Source can become an easy thing to do if I put the effort into it. I just realize that I need to desire it enough. And what I realize is I do desire that. So that was my message for today, one that I am putting into practice even as I speak. And in doing so, I will learn to keep all of my mind, all my thoughts, all my actions on the one source, God, at all times. I'm glad to have shared this with you today. I know that not everyone is ready to do what I'm being called to do, and it doesn't matter, because we're always connected to Source, even when we're not thinking about Source or dedicating all our actions to the Source. We are loved always, because we are all creations of the Most High God. So as always, just remember, there is only one presence and one power, active in the universe and in our lives, God the good, omnipotent. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. May you have a beautiful and wonderful day, everyone. God bless each and every one of you.